Oh,
Yeah, because you were there and then you weren't. So out of the blue, ladies and gentlemen, I come from you. No, I don't come from you. I come to you from L Town here, the planned city, Longview, or Longview, or I like to call it.
yeah,
And that's Mr. B. He's the L. I'm the L. He's the B. All right.
yeah,
I get this mixed up this morning. I'm the L. He's the B, and we are the LB hour, affectionately known as the Pound Hour. Right.
yeah.
So
My hair's not working, but we don't worry about stuff like that.
you know what, Brian? If you just take it all off, we're good.
Yeah,
I'm wearing my Peaky Blinders hat because I love these hats. I've been wearing them for a long time, actually, my golf hats. And it just so happens that, yesterday I started watching a show called Peaky Blinders, which is kind of set in like the European, like this painting back here. It's kind of funny because this painting kind of reminds me of that European little look right there. Except for I think they're in the 1920s, 1919 or something like that.
Yeah, 1919. They're all back from World War I.
Yeah, there's a show on Netflix called Peaky Blinders, which is pretty freaking cool, really. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. It's not like, I mean, it's been going on for a couple of years now. It's not brand new,
I think it's actually done. I think it started in like 2013 to 18 or something. I think it's over, but I don't know. I'll check into it.
Yeah, I'll have to check into it. Yeah, but they're pretty cool, and it's kind of like The Sopranos, the Irish version of The Sopranos.
Yes.
During the IRA, and the IRA is still around, I think, right? Or no?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to speak on that. But now, 30 years ago today, you were in high school. Is that right? Senior year?
30 years ago today, I was, what day is today? Yes.
March 1991. What were you doing?
In March of 1991, I was probably shitting myself sideways, honestly.
Well,
trying to figure out how I was going to graduate.
Well, here's what was happening in the world. From March 1st, 1991, the year you graduated 30 years ago, the world
of peace begins. Yeah, we just got out of the Middle East.
Yeah.
For a little bit. Obviously. Yeah, wow, that was pretty, which is weird it says that, but then I swear we were in it for quite a while, actually. I mean, we're still there now, but not because of the fall of Saddam Hussein or.
Yeah. He was trying to take over Kuwait. And then people were having, it says local celebrants to hold hands. They were having a hands around the lake. Do you remember that?
I do, because I sold T-shirts.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that.
Yeah, no, I had a whole bunch of T-shirts. I was in high school, but I had a whole bunch of T-shirts made that said, don't burn this one. And actually, some of the shirts were for $1 more. You had, try to burn this one, asshole. As a flag, those flag shirts. Yeah, nice. So we were, we would, it was not, I wasn't always PC, and I wasn't always on the right side of it, the law. I get out of the law, but the right side of history. I mean, and when I say that, I refer to maybe I was very conservative back then. I thought I was, and now I'm pretty much middle down the road on a lot of things because you kind of have to be able to think both sides. You have to. If you're not progressive in your thinking, if you're not a liberal in your thinking, then you're kind of an idiot. And if you're stuck with what you're doing, you're just kind of like, if you say, hey, I am bound to a party, if you bind yourself to any party, you're going to be wrong half the time, or almost half the time.
Yeah. And half the people are going to hate you.
Yep, exactly. But at the time, I had friends over at the Middle East in Kuwait, and I was very, I was all pro-war at the time. It was very, my friends are not going to go over there and die. They are there, and they were a couple of years older than I was, of course, but they were there, and I was in fear for their life, and so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was very pro kick the ass. Matter of fact, the song was, all we are saying, we held hands, and all we are saying is kick Saddam's ass.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
a
I can't
good.
remember the rest of it, but either way, yeah.
I like when they change songs. Now, did you know that at that same time, the you could go to a movie at the Kelso Theater for $1? Can you see that?
I do believe so. Yes, and that was
Wow.
not. That was yeah. I remember that actually. That was cool. It wasn't really like I don't think it was pro. It was yeah.
The
They
Rescuers down at,
yeah, they weren't first run movies.
well, it was Van Damme and Lionheart, so you can't beat that when you're 17 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty actually pretty close. I mean, I'd say Lionheart probably came out in '90. You know.
Yeah, we're trying to get security cam footage of you at that movie that night, so we'll work on that.
Yeah, I don't know. That was 91, 92,
1991, 30 years ago when you were a 17-year-old.
Yeah, that's cool. I think yeah. Wow. Yeah. I know that I don't know what my schedule was, but in my senior year, for future reference, my senior year was actually the year that I actually did homework.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to, my freshman, sophomore, junior year were spent partying pretty much.
Wow.
With the older crowd, because the class of I had a lot of friends that were like 2 years older than I was, so they had already graduated and stuff. But they were
like you said, they were in the war.
Yeah, they were in the war. So yeah, so when they graduated, and most of them were in 89 actually, 89, 790, but I mean I have a lot of friends my own age, but the guys who taught me how to party were the class of 89.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you know, one of my best friends, oh shoot, Brandon, we talked about before, he was 89, class of 89, and but it was like, it wasn't always a good thing to learn how to party. I mean, how to party out in the woods and yada, yada, yada. I mean, that's some fun stuff, but either way, I learned, and then I had to buckle down. My senior year, they said, you're not going to graduate with your friends. They said, there's no possible way in hell that you can graduate with your friends. They said that. They said, there's no way you can. And I said, and that's one of the hurdles in life. I was such a comedian, not a comedian, but I guess I was quite the joker. And before that, I was the smoker, whatever, toker, whatever the hell it was.
Midnight toker.
Midnight toker, yes. That was like my first couple years in high school there, and I quit that stuff. But it was in my senior year, every class I had was either in English or history, or it was I had to take all of the classes that were demanded by me. I couldn't take any electives whatsoever. And I had to go to college at night. I had to go I had to go before school. I had one elective class, which was I got to do another an ensemble for singing in the morning. That was the only elective class I had, and it had to be at 7:00 in the morning. If I really wanted, I had to go at 7:00 in the morning, because I had sang my whole friggin' life. But when it came to my senior year, they're like going, sorry, if you want to graduate, you can't do that. So I took classes at the college at night. Matter of fact, the summer before my senior year, I did a class it was a full quarters with the classes I had to do. I think I got 20 credits in college at the time, actually, for that one class. So it was auto body, and I worked from like, I don't know. I had a lot of schooling my senior year for certain, and I had to work at a job. I worked at Montgomery Ward's putting at first it was putting engines together, or treadmills and bikes and so forth together.
Wow.
One of the first jobs I had, and I worked at Pietro's flipping pizzas.
Yeah.
And I was go. I don't know where I got this work ethic at the time, but I did. And and then when I got into college, of course, I moved to Seattle for a while, and when I moved up there, I had to go to college, and I had a job working at a video store, and I was the only male employee. And at that time, the Judge Thomas was being burned for having sexual issues with. Remember that?
Oh, Clarence Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was weird because being the only male employee of a store, and I mean, we were young. We had improper flirtations at all times. That's how you work, you know. You're in this area with these females, and you just don't try to hurt anybody's feelings. But
yeah.
But what was his name?
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas. That's what it was. Yeah. So Clarence Thomas. Yeah. And the gal's name was
Anita Hill. Actually.
Anita Hill. Yeah. So Clarence Thomas, Anita Hill. That was a hard time to be an only male employee at a company. I can guarantee you that. It was not good. Or it was a hard time to be a boss. I think at any time, because it was like, did I ever say anything to that person? Did I ever, you know?
Oh yeah.
It makes you not want to look at somebody or talk to them like a human being, really. Because human beings, you know what? We're nice to each other. We care about, the whole thing is that we care about each other. And if we don't care about each other, what's the point of being human? And being that we care about each other, you have to find each other's soft spots, and not physically, but you have to flirt with people. I mean, mentally, you have to learn what they enjoy, and you got to figure them out, you know. And that's what I try to do most of my life. You know, you find somebody, how can I relate to this person? Is it through comedy? Is it through you know, where's the common denominator of that conversation? Because yeah, I mean, what, you know, when you and I met, honestly, if right off the bat, we happened to, you know, it had to do with Austin Powers and Dr. Evil and stuff. And we had that instantly had that common trait of we both enjoyed the limelight a little bit, and, you know, Austin Powers. And that's something that sports do, and that good filming does. I mean, they bring people together, you know.
Well, that night was interesting because I came as Dr. Evil. I went against my typecasting. I could have won money if I'd just been Austin again. But I went Dr. Evil. You gave me tips on the speaking, how he spoke, what he said. That was fun.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that was. I just happened to be out in town from Seattle actually at the time.
Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween, and
I think 2001.
Yeah, my wife. Well, no, it would have been. Well, it could have been 2001.
Might have been. Hey,
yeah, 99, 2001.
Interesting you were talking about Clarence Thomas, because I looked a little bit through this paper from 30 years ago, and there was a Mark Morris teacher getting in trouble for being with the 70s.
Yes, and who was that? That was...
We're not going to say his name.
No, you can speak the names that shall not be spoken. I can't remember. I was not fond of that gentleman, by the way, I don't think.
Well, I knew him a little bit, and so...
Yeah. He's kind of, he was a little off.
Yeah. Well, were you involved in journalism? Because that day in the Daily News, they were talking about local school papers.
I always did I always had some little things in the papers, but not like, I was not in the paper at the time. I don't think I was not on the news.
Yeah. But when I first saw this, I thought this guy was you for a second, but it was.
No, that's not me, man.
It talked about all the local school papers. These were Nacelle, and then it went down to R.A. Long and talked about them. R.A. Long was doing exciting things. Did you know Vicki Armstrong?
Oh yeah.
And Laura Christensen.
Now, Laura.
She was the teacher.
The teacher was Laura Christensen?
I don't
recall her.
I believe so.
Mrs. Christensen, I don't recall. I think Laura may have been a student. I don't know.
It said she started her journalism class at R.A. Long by covering.
Yeah, I do not recall her. That's pretty cool though. Yeah, the paper right there. Yeah, that's awesome.
I got it.
Is this part of your newspaper.com website?
Yes.
Or what is it?
Newspapers.com. This is the publisher extra. I get it occasionally. I got it for the month of March. It's only $20. And it's just fun to see old stuff. And then people want you to look stuff up. It's kind of fun. So.
I think it's, you know what, that's a great little hobby thing to pay for. I mean, if you're going to do it, that's definitely a time consuming. I would, bill aims to prohibit censorship. And
still working on that.
Right. Oh, Exxon Valdez.
Yes.
They were cleaning that up still. My sister and TJ, my sister Angela and her best friend TJ were up in Alaska, helping do cleanup at that, helping to clean up at the Exxon.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then TJ got in a wreck up there. She hurt herself, and she broke all of her teeth in her mouth and stuff. Yeah, she has all this surgery and all. It was horrible. I mean, beautiful girl. I mean, TJ and her family, they're all beautiful people, but she was very, very pretty. And then all of a sudden, I mean, she was model-like, and all of a sudden she got all this damage done in her mouth, and
wow,
she thought she'd never be able to be smile again. And actually, now you can't ever tell anything happened to her. She's still very, very. I mean, you can't even see anything there. It's just they did good work.
Well, I was reading about the Exxon Valdez, and it was on Newsmax, and they said it in Q, and they said it never happened. So,
folks,
it never happened.
That's the idiocy of nowadays. If you can dumb down a situation,
it was a joke. Keeping it light here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were serious. I'm like, good God. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. If you weren't there, then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
The walking on the moon, you know what? I don't know if it'll ever happen because I don't know if I'll ever get there. Yeah. Titanic? Nah. Didn't happen,
Well, I don't know if I'm pretty sure the moon landing happened, but I will tell you, it was one of the best TV shows ever. We sat down, we read the Bible, the family, watched it on that black and white, and we believed it. So,
yeah. So explain to me, just out of curiosity. So that was, what year was that?
1969.
69, yeah.
July
69. Okay, so explain to me in detail how that was for you.
Oh, it was amazing. It was
so you sat down with the family and prayed, but explain to me just exactly what you guys did.
Well, we were praying for the safety of the astronauts.
So did your mom call you all in and say, hey?
My dad did. My dad brought us all in. We sat down and we read the Bible a little bit, prayed, and then, which we hardly ever did as a group. And then we watched it in amazement. It was, we were truly amazed, man. It was something else. I was
the family united right there.
Yeah. Now my brothers were in Vietnam, so we were really into the American flag, man. We believed deeply. We wanted their safety too,
Right. Yeah.
So, so there were less of us, maybe 4 or 5, but still, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, but either way, that'd be pretty cool. I think for the family, the family doesn't come together anymore on that little stupid little idiot box, boob box, whatever my parents called it. It's always the idiot box or the boob tube.
Yeah, my dad called it idiot box.
Yeah, or the boob. Mom called it the boob tube. Turn off the boob tube and whatever it was. I don't know. But the boob tube. That was all. Somebody else said that. I don't remember. But
yeah, my dad always called it that, and I'm like, well, those boobs you're talking about, those idiots. They're doing pretty good on there. That Brady guy, he's got a hell of a house. Come on, Dad. I'd give my dad crap a little bit about it.
The Brady guy?
Yeah, the Brady bunch. I'd say
Brady.
He'd call them idiots. I go, I don't know. That lady can move stuff with her nose.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually.
He didn't talk to me after that much. He kind of just kept me, like, I can't really relate to this kid.
Right. Well, that's the problem. Nowadays it's even worse. It's like, you think in the last year and a half, 2 years, this should be a study of some sort. In the last 2 years, we've had a pandemic. We've had to come together as families and everybody.
Year and a month. It's been a year and a month.
A year and a month. Yeah. And we've had
seems
to actually
like 2 years.
Seems like 5 years, actually. It's horrible.
I'm trying to remember before the pandemic. That's why I like to look up 30 years ago when you were doing fun things and I was, 25 or whatever, or 30.
I was playing Frisbee back then. Yeah.
Yeah, you were 17, I was 32. So I was going into adulthood, full on going to be the family guy,
Right. Yeah.
Family.
I don't know. Be honest. I think that at that age you were in California having some fun.
No, I was here.
Oh, really?
I was doing the local shows. I got to be a little local celebrity, but also get serious and put all the money in savings. Can't be buying stuff.
All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah. But I was saying is that even that back then, though, when you're in your age, mine not so much because it seemed to change in between there. But the family would come together and for a common show, or it was like they just got out of the radio era where they could, in the radio era, the family would come together and listen to Lassie or whatever it was, Annie Oakley,
or the, FDR talking.
Or The Shadow. The Shadow Knows. I love that one. That was a good one.
Yes.
The Shadow Knows. And that's a radio. People would gather around the radio just to hear the information coming in.
Yeah.
That movie that came out here recently it was News of the World with Tom Hanks. Very good. But the fact is that people would pay good money to go hear him speak and tell what was going on in the world, because he could read. Apparently, that was something that was appreciated back in the day. Nowadays people can't read anymore. I don't think. Anyways, but that was cool, and people. That was the common denominator we found for each other. It was like we all, the mom and the dad, held it together for us to all come together at dinner times, anytime they'd come together, and we would all get the same basis of what we learned and had knowledge of.
Yeah, Sunday, a lot of families did the Sunday dinner, kind of a special dinner, a little bit more than usual. Then Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, I think I'm going to, even before this pandemic, in the last years, my family, my sisters and people would come together a little bit, do a Sunday dinner. And I think that I'm going to start implementing that again. If my kids are here, great. If they're not, it's just going to be a dinner for whoever wants to come over. So, try to get some family stuff going on. And just on Sundays, so reserve that spot, reserve that spot for your family, with the ones you love, just for a couple hours, and just so you can have some commonality, But it seemed like that went off, that got derailed somehow. And it got derailed because there's a TV in every freaking room now. If a child wants to go, I want to go to my room, if you sent them to their room back in the day, that was because it was an offense. They had done something wrong,
Yeah.
You say, hey, go to your room. Now it's, can I go to my room? I want to go play video games. I want to go to my room.
No TV in my room, so it was like you didn't want to get grounded. But it got worse with these. Now it's like the table. At the table.
Yeah. Yep, at the table. It just dividing us and making us more unique, which is good, right? I like uniqueness, but it shows no commonality when it comes to that, because all of a sudden I'm watching Fox News and you're watching MSNBC and that person's watching CNN, and which is good if you take all that information and come together and discuss it, what you learned. But it's just division is what it is. Division within the family, division within friends, division within. That's why Facebook is kind of good, but kind of bad. All of a sudden, people go out there and they promote their. Guess what I learned today? The President Umpqua, once had sexual relations with the Princess of Wales or whatever. It's just, point is that you promote things, and when you promote them, half the time they're not real anyways, right? Yeah, and then it's just bad for everybody, I think. But I don't know how we get out of that. You making noise faces?
I'm not sure, actually. I was thinking back about the Ed Sullivan show. that would bring the family together, and then everybody got to see these unknown people and famous people together. And then Gunsmoke was the one that families watched together.
Right. No, and that's why. So the variety show is something that
Yes.
I highly enjoy, and Brian does as well. And we've tried to put this little variety show together a couple times, and we're going to do some more very soon.
Well, we did a little film study yesterday. Saw a 1968 episode with the Dean Martin show, and it was just
Yes.
It was delightful. I mean, it really was.
Oh, they are all delightful, I think.
Oh yeah.
You know, Dean Martin show, Hee Haw, Ed Shroven, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Well, Dean Martin in that show, he would look at the cue cards, put on, you know, he would grab the cue cards. He also started the song over. He was so natural. It was amazing.
He didn't care. He just, it was his show, man. He just, he was the shit. And he just would say, hey.
He was really into his entertainers. Whoever
he was all about entertainment.
Yeah, it was cool. I learned a lot. I thought we're gonna make whoever's a musical guest, we're gonna make them a superstar that day, because he did that for everybody.
Yeah.
Joey Heatherton and Orson Welles. It was
the
guy that did backwards spelling and stuff. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, what I liked on it was Dean Martin was the star, right? But then, so any other star that came on there to sing, he would kind of like he'd go in there and sing with them, you know. He just, you know, whether if it was a common song, he knew it. He'd be like, he just joined in there. He didn't like try to step on their stuff. He just was like helping out, you know. It's gonna made it fun, you know. All of a sudden, everybody in the crowds is singing. You know what I mean? So like, you know, if we have a guest over next time, remind me this on our next show, that if they're singing like a common song that we all know.
Yeah, go up there.
Yeah, we gotta sing with them a little bit. That'd be kind of fun.
When they're done with a song too, you and I both, we don't even have to go up there. We can, you know, get next to the camera. We can ask questions and they can answer. I think
sure, yeah, as long as they can hear us. I want to get this better though, because I don't want to hear any background noises by anybody. Nobody coughing. You know, if they want to partake in the medicinal herbs that they have to take, they need to go outside and do it, because
we'll keep the numbers down in there. It's a small room.
Actually, I kind of like the little chitter chat, you know. But
you got to be able to move around. Like we don't.
You have to be able to move around, and you can't have. The coughing really was not good.
Coughing was not. I might have to wear a mask this next time, just to show that I'm not always cavalier about the rules. A guy coughing.
No, yeah, most definitely. We're definitely not cavalier about the rules. We partake, and we make sure that everybody is tested before we have them on film.
A coughing man in a small room, though, is not a good thing. I'm not going to do that.
No, it's not. Yeah.
But we could do a kind of a leisurely run through, just to see where the sound picks up and all that stuff, just for fun.
Yeah, but that's something that we need to work on. That actually, we can work on that tomorrow or today or whenever. But that's something in particular, because I didn't realize with the new mic that it picked up more sound from the back of us than it did in the front of us, which was strange.
Well, we can even watch. There's probably a thing on YouTube that'll tell you push this button and it won't pick up anything from the back.
From the back, yeah. I bet you there probably is.
That's the highest rated live stream phone right now. So
you're well,
12.
I hope so. It cost me half this house, so.
Yeah, well, that's good. We got that covered, and I got this is a tech note, but I got the tripod was giant. Remember, we were tripping over it.
Yeah.
I got it on a stand with a round base.
On a mic stand, yeah.
Yeah, and I took a page from my late brother Bruce, and I put some things together, and it's on a swivel. It does everything with this much of a base. So we're ready. There'll be no tripping.
Bruce is like, you know what? Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Just put little mic in front of him. Yeah.
Well,
or we talked about maybe a boom mic too. You never know. You know?
Yeah. I'm talking about the camera though. It's now on a swivel without a big base, but he's more like take what you got and put it together.
Yeah.
You got a swivel head. You got a mic stand.
Adapt. You know, the A-team is how you adapt, and that's we need more A-team stuff. Oh yeah.
We'll knock something over next time.
We will. No big deal.
Hey,
speaking of TV shows and stuff, I had some questions for you today, which I don't know if we'll ever get to, but that's okay.
Go ahead.
We don't need to. But the question for you is, who is your favorite musical artist? We're going to go on to music because, okay, so who is your favorite rapper?
Oh, wow.
I threw you out with the rapper, didn't I? Because you're like, I don't even like rap.
I like rap quite a bit, actually. I'm kind of lean towards Eminem. I just really enjoy that weird tone he's got that seems real urgent. There's an urgent tone to his voice.
Yeah, no, I'd say Eminem's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I
like the guy that did Bust a Move, though, Young MC, but he didn't see much.
He made like 2 songs, unfortunately. That was their one song.
Good one, though. I got one question, though. I want to know if you attended this game. It was against the Jills beat Mark Morris, and this gal, Melissa Huffman, smothered the ball. Do you remember that?
I think so, actually. I probably did. I remember Melissa. She was pretty cool. She was actually a grade behind me, but she was a varsity, and it was a game at LCC for the district. Yeah, but she's actually like I said, she was an underclassman.
Yeah, but she was pretty good. She was.
Yeah, no, she was for sure. Yeah, she was good. It was at LCC. I may not have watched it then because
playoff game. So.
Oh, for the playoff game, I probably made it. Yeah. They were kind of the girls' basketball. Unfortunately, was not real popular at the time. You know,
it was starting to get better though, as far as popularity.
Well, their quality was great, but popularity unfortunately wasn't. You know, so I'm not sure what I was doing at the time, but if it was, I was probably following the popular crowd and not being at that event because I wasn't a basketball guy in particular.
Yeah.
You know, short guy. But you know.
Well, they got to play on Fridays, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's always cool to get out of school for anything, you know.
Well, Friday night. No, I mean Friday night, like the featured game Friday night is the gals.
Gotcha.
Long versus Mark Morris. That's big stuff locally.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I doubt I was there at that one in particular. Probably, but I was at everything, so maybe. I mean, to this day, there's not much that I'm not at. It's kind of like that's kind of my thing. It's like all of a sudden, you know, everybody's like, "Well, Lonnie will be there." And Lonnie, you know, I'm not there as often as I was. I've dropped off about half of what I did.
Well, you had so much going on. You're trying to graduate, so you don't have time.
Well, yeah. But even now, in business wise, I was known for. If there was anything going on, I was in that heartbeat of the society here locally, you know. But in the community, I was there. As a matter of fact, right now, I still try to be there at these functions and just to know what's going on. So I keep my ear to the ground and be the pulse. I hear the pulse of the community. But with this pandemic thing here, it's been quite hard, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then politically, yes, it's been even harder because, you know, it's like, oh, you don't want to be somewhere because some stupid paparazzi is going to take a picture of you and put you somewhere. You know what I mean? No, I'm serious. That's like, I don't care that much about you know, because I go on both sides of the fence on a lot of things, but you know, I'm interested in a lot of things, but when you know somebody's gonna be there to take a picture of you, it makes you wonder what's going on. It's like, well, you know.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't hold me back ever. I won't ever let that hold me back from going somewhere and not being attending to something because I care about it. I just know that I'll be questioned later on because once I got into politics, I'm not into politics, but I did run for PUD commissioner about 4.5 years ago, and when I did, you know, people came out and said, "Hey, why aren't you more right, more left, more whatever?" You know?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, give me a break. That's not the job is for. It's not for political advancement. It's for the community's advancement. And that's how I look at that in particular. Politics for me is not for politics, but for community advancement, you know? anyways, my question.
One question before we
Sure.
move on. When you were in high school, did anybody have a cell phone when you were a senior?
A senior in high school?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I had pager, and that was
check this out. Cellular phones don't have to be expensive, so they were starting to tease about them. Isn't that interesting? I didn't realize it went that far back.
yeah, Action Mobile Installation. I remember them actually.
Yeah, Action.
They actually did. They were basically did all the counties' cell phones. So if you notice that, if you get back on there, Brian, if you put that back up for a second.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah, I remember that company. It was
over in Kelso, West Main and Kelso, I think.
I think so. They don't say it here. They just want you to call them, but they don't have to be expensive. $200 for everything.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a U.S. Cellular phone. It's a bag phone, actually. It's a 5-watt bag phone.
Oh, okay. Ooh, we lost her. Yeah, that's how they did it, huh?
Yep, and it was and that thing actually, you could be out in Amy's dad, my ex-wife, her father used to have a phone like that because he had a very large cutting company, or
oh, really?
Yeah, a logging company, and I don't know what we're watching here. Do you think Andrea is still trying to tell me something?
I was trying to get that back. There it is.
There you go, Action Mobile. Yeah, so that's a bag phone, and it would work literally at the top of Mount St. Helens. That thing worked everywhere. It was insane. And I don't know, you have all this 5G, but the point is that it's even the 5G stuff, 4G, whatever, that stuff doesn't compare to that bag phone right there. That bag phone would be out in the middle of, it was your own personal cell tower right there, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Well, that was the beginning of the whole thing, it seemed like.
Yeah. Yeah, I sold those when I got, for a while there, I went from when I graduated here and I went to Seattle and stuff, and I came back and then went back there again. Anyways, but I used to manage a company, cell phone company, and we did a camera company. We sold cell phones and stuff. I had to learn all about that for years, and I was a CSR, customer service representative for US Cellular at the time, and yeah, I had to learn all that stuff. I did Nextel, Sprint, Virgin Mobile, T-Mobile, which I think is the same thing now, actually, and let's see here, AT&T. We did. Let's see here. Nextel just started in Sprint up in Seattle, so but I was doing that stuff, and I loved it. I loved dealing with that stuff and the technology at the time, and I was able to be in front of it, and I was ahead of the game on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You always like that, but then after you get lost behind it for a while, that's like the 8-ball. You're behind the 8-ball. It's always elusive. You can't get to it. Once you fall behind, it seems like,
Oh yeah.
Technology, just like, no, just runs you over, because it's not going to stop. And that's things to do. I want to keep up with computers and information, and it's like, yeah, you just blow up, I don't know. But either way, I got out of that business and I was in photography and stuff. That's how I got into photography at the same time, actually. They didn't have pictures on their phones back then. Matter of fact, I remember one of the things I was incorrect with was those cell phones. Shortly after that, probably I would say 95, they started doing, 95. No, actually, I would say 2001. 2001, they started a text message, and it was predetermined text. So if I wanted to write in there, and with the whole little, remember, I press the phone and go ABC on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you had to figure out what to say, and it was horrible. It took forever. You could predetermine text. Hey, honey, I'm on my way home. It was like 10 things you could predetermine text send to somebody. You can't change it. That's what you're sending them. So that was that was like $7 a month, $8 a month.
Wow.
For that service to be able to send them those 10 text messages. So it was pretty interesting. And that was through US Cellular as well. And I'm like, this will never sell. People are not going to text message. That's one of the things I got wrong in my life. They said, I was like, it was such a hassle at the time. I was like, people are not going to be text messaging, you know? Well, technology got better, and all of a sudden, that's, you know, you don't even take phone calls half the time, I think. You take text messages, it seems like you said, you know?
Yeah. I'm tired of text. It's too hard to get the point across. If you could do like a Zoom or a phone call, you can get all the information.
Yeah, but you said before you get most of your texts and stuff. Your face is really white on one side, by the way.
Huh?
Might want to turn it. Yeah, almost maybe it's a computer. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? It might be my computer.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. So your favorite rap? We'll go back to the music thing here. Your favorite rap is Eminem. Rapper Eminem. Okay, and I will probably say that my favorite rap group, you know, although different styles, I'll go back with my NWA and Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys because they're unique, but NWA basically where they started the whole gangster rap from. But yeah, I'd say Beastie Boys just because they were secondary to the rap thing, but they had a lot of fun. They had a lot of different kinds of music in there. It wasn't just one genre. It was kind of like they mixed in, you know, all different kinds of music with them. You know.
Yeah, kids loved them too. It was parents didn't mind them too much.
Yeah, they were a white band. They weren't. You know, matter of fact, they were night. I don't care. I'm not racist, but they, in particular, I think that they were a Jewish.
Believe so.
A Jewish rap band actually out of New York, which was pretty funny at the time. But they really made it big, man. They were just you know, and they had some songs, the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They talked about like the Bible, and it was interesting. And now and again, they would say some things just like, "Whoa!" They actually put some thought into their music, you know. But yeah, I would say the Beastie Boys, which are no longer around, unfortunately, really, because they
they lost one of the Adams.
MCA actually, yeah, MCA passed away from cancer, throat cancer, and oddly enough, my dad died from throat cancer as well, and my sister. I don't want to bring the dad and sister. That's horrible, but my sister, yeah, got to hang out and kiss on MCA apparently back in the day in Hawaii. Yeah, 93 or something like that when they were big. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They went and party with the Beastie Boys. But
pretty amazing. What about these guys? Run DMC.
Oh, I went and watched them. They're awesome. They were the kings of rock, man. They were
good. I liked them and that.
No, they were great, but they just weren't my favorites at the time. Matter of fact, the Beastie Boys played with Run DMC on that tour that my sister went and met them. She maybe even met Run DMC. I don't know.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah, they played with each other. They had a tour, Run DMC and the Beastie Boys, and they went to Hawaii. My sister met all those guys. I think those guys were all smoking out, and my sister was like, because they were downstairs. Anyways, I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, you know. Yeah. Funny who you meet and who you know sometimes, you know.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Pick up a story like, oh yeah, I actually met that person before. It's amazing. The world is much smaller than we think. And it's funny because I've had two friends actually who've gone over to Hawaii, and then come to find out they're like, oh, well, they don't have any clue that they know anybody. They're like, at Hawaii, they just met. They said, do you know Lonnie Knowles? And I'm like, yeah, you know, and I'm like, good God. Matter of fact, Trish Martin, you know, the Martins, I'll say that the Trods, affectionately known as the Trods. The Trods were over there one time, friends of ours that we know people. The Trods were over there in Hawaii, and they decided to go have a cigarette off the bar somewhere or the beach, and they saw a pretty blonde, and that pretty blonde was like, "Oh, you're from Washington State, yeah," and oh, well, you know, you're from Cowlitz County? Oh my gosh. Well, you know, do you know Lonnie Knowles? And I'm like, you're kidding me. And they're like, no. And this girl is beautiful. She's like just a surfer girl. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, actually kind of dated this girl for a while, but she's super sweet. She's a surfer girl. She is actually a surgeon assistant, and traveling surgeon assistant. So I don't know how the hell they ended up at the same spot at the same time, but they did. Matter of fact, another time over in Hawaii there, my nephew was over there with his family, and they go to some surf shop and they start talking. They're like, "Oh, you're from the mainland?" "Yeah." "Well, you're from Washington State." "Oh, do you know Lonnie Knowles?" I'm like, and that is where the Candy was. Remember last time there was a gal here locally named Candy who worked at the surf shop over there, managed a surf shop, and some relatives of mine came in there and like, "Oh, it's just funny how small this world is."
Oh, yeah.
They just there's some commonalities though. If you're from the local area, then you're a lot bigger than you think you are.
Yeah.
Not me, I mean anybody. Yeah. There's always 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and there's like probably 8 degrees of Lonnie Knowles. But anyway, so we got past the rap. Now the next one, more important one. Who is your favorite country singer?
I'd say Johnny Horton. I know it's an oldie, but Johnny Horton.
Who?
Johnny Horton.
Johnny Horton and the Who? Here's a Who?
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff, man. That was it's great karaoke songs. People know all the words to the Battle in New Orleans, 1814.
They took a little trip. That's right. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. I think my favorite country singer, and I'm debating if I want to say that's him or not, but because he's not really country, but King of the Road by
Roger Miller. Yeah, he was country folk.
Roger's country folk. But I think that my favorite country is probably maybe Johnny Cash or but I liked Roger Miller. He was great. And yeah. So classical composers, who do you like?
I don't know much about them. I don't really know enough to choose. I mean, I kind of like Bach and Beethoven a little bit, but I don't know a lot about them. I don't know Wagner
and Tchaikovsky and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I used to know more of them. It's been a while, and I listen to them now and again, but I don't. I'll have to really put some more thought into that one because I don't know. I mean, of course, you've got the classical masterpieces by Tchaikovsky and Bach, Beethoven, whatever,
and of course Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk, I don't know that one.
Kraftwerk was a '90s German band that played almost like new classical stuff, and they were really popular in the early '90s. Surprised you don't know them. They did weird like robot songs and one called the Autobahn, and they were just it was a techno German band. Still around.
Well, there's some weird bands out there for certain.
They're pretty good though.
Speaking of weird bands that are not, well, they are still around, but they're not still around. What was that? Morbid.
Oh gosh, so he quit. He got destroyed by those web sleuths on that show about the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah,
he ended up being a victim in the whole thing. They claimed he was the murderer.
Well, I mean, and I hate to say that, but he talks about morbid things all the long time. So
but that's no reason to destroy his life. You just don't.
No, not to destroy his life.
I just don't go to his page, but to try to destroy the guy because
But if you believe that he had something to do with somebody's death, and they started, these sleuths supposedly.
Well, no, they went right into accusing him, even though he wasn't there that year.
Yeah. They didn't put those two and two together for a while. That's the horrible part about it.
None of them apologized. So when you accuse somebody, you're in the wrong. Those people should be held liable in lawsuits and all that. But I don't know if it's going to happen. But
but he was a sick puppy. I mean,
but that's no reason.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. I'm just saying that if you say you're going to kill some, you talk about death and dismemberment and horrible stuff, people are going to assume that, you can't just say, hey, it's all fake. I'm not really.
Well, he could say it, but the thing is, it had nothing to do with the murder.
Yeah.
You can't just accuse people of murder. You should have to maybe pay fines and go to prison if you make false accusations like that. They ruined his life. He doesn't even want to sing anything now and barely wants to live. Tried to kill himself.
Yeah, he seemed pretty depressed. And
so
I think
they were trying to solve a murder, and then they destroyed a human life and didn't care about it. So that was.
I'm sure that happens all the time. I don't mean by just the web sleuths, but I mean people in general. People are trying to do good. It's one of those, the road to hell is paved with good intentions type of thing. You know, it's like, they're trying to be good, but
if they follow basic rules of journalism, that would never happen. Because once they suspect him, they do research. They don't make public claims. That's what journalists are supposed to do.
Yep.
Yeah. It was
matter of fact, Brian, there's been a big thing on the news here about recently on different things. I heard him talking. They're trying to get back to just doing basic news without having a slant to it. So,
I wish that could work, but what will happen is nobody will be interested. It'll be too down the middle. There will be 3% of the population watching.
Right.
You never know. Yeah, people watch Fox and CNN because they want to be confirmed, what they think.
But that's why we have a variety show. I'm not gonna talk about news.
I can't do news.
But we can do a variety of different things here coming up here, whether it be magic, whether it be, mysticism or whatever it is. If it interests you, and if you want to be on our show, let us know. I'd love to have you.
Singing, dancing. If you do some sort of poetry that's interesting, or this.
Sure.
Like the guy we saw did words.
Oh, poetry would be great. I never thought of that. Jeez, that'd be kind of cool. If somebody's a poet and they want to, know it, and tell everybody else to show it, that'd be great. We could do that.
Dean Martin had Orson Welles come on and do a Shakespeare scene.
Yeah, Orson Welles was great. I didn't realize how good he was until actually, I know he had a kind of that variety. I only grew up. The only thing I ever knew growing up, because he was older when I heard about him, and it was they'll serve no wine before it's time.
That only took 32 takes to say that. He was a drunk by then.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They'll serve no wine before it's time. Apparently, by the time that she got it out, the wine was aged.
Yeah.
I think it was Valvadine or something like that, or Thunderbird wine.
Paul Masson.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think Robin Williams, the great Robin Williams, does a play on that whole I'll serve no wine before it's time. He always played a good drunk on his acts and stuff, whenever he did something. But
Robin of course stole that from Johnny Carson, who did
probably.
I will drink no wine before it's time, and then he drank it.
Drink no wine before it's time.
Johnny Carson.
What do you say? It's time.
Yeah, and he would always say it's time. It was funny. He played an Orson Welles type character.
No, Robin Williams just played that part in this thing where he would talk about how drunk Orson Welles was.
Yeah. Well, that was exactly. It was the same, exactly what.
Really? We'll have to compare that sometime. Yeah.
Robin Williams watched a lot of TV too. That's right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Where he got a lot of his act was from other people.
Well, why not? Yeah, that was some funny stuff. But okay, so rock and
roll.
You
can't help steal stuff because.
Yeah.
It's an obvious idea.
You implement it into your act. You implement it into everything. It's just life. That's what happens. But rock and roll. Who's your rock and roll favorites?
I like John Mellencamp. I guess he's rock and roll. I like Springsteen. I like Don Henley too. He's not much that rocking, but he's good. He's a good writer. I like guys that write good songs.
Your favorite 80s rock and roll. That's about it right there, right?
80s rock. Guns N' Roses. They changed the whole thing, man.
Sure.
It came out of nowhere in 87, I think.
Yeah, I'd say 87. Yeah. Good call on the age, I guess. And I love them, as well. I think that I'll say a band in particular, the Beatles. I think in particular, my number one band of all time is the Beatles, because they went over 4 different genres and music, and they went different genres and the different times, 60s, 70s, 80s. It was like, wow, they just spanned a generation or two.
They changed over time.
They changed, yeah. And I can say that even though they didn't really change that much, the Rolling Stones.
Oh yeah.
They stayed popular. They just did great.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like they didn't change their music too much. I mean, their stuff just seemed to be timeless.
Yeah.
You know,
they got a little disco-y for a short period. It was kind of cool, but it wasn't really disco, but it was really bouncy and fun.
But the Beatles went from 50s pop to the hippie little weird, you know, all that stuff, and they went to the 80s type of a music where it was. And then when I say Beatles in general, I refer to Paul, and they all, John, George, and everybody else had their own side things, but they're very relevant. What about folk singers? Who's your favorite folk singer?
Probably Pete Seeger, believe it or not. Pete Seeger, he's from way back.
Do not recall what that is. What did he sing?
Look him up, man. I think he did a version that I really liked. It was This Land Is Your Land. But he does a lot of cool stuff. He comes from way back. You got to check him out. Pete Seeger.
Singer?
Seeger. I'll show you a quick picture of this guy. He comes from way back. You know what I mean? Let's show Pete Seeger to the young people. Can you see it? Pete Seeger, 1919 to 2014, American folk singer.
Huh.
Good Night Irene. He did Lead Belly's song, Good Night Irene. But he just was a classic folk singer.
Huh. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've heard the term Good Night Irene, but I thought that's something else.
Yeah.
I know it's a song, actually. I have to listen to it.
Yeah. This land is my land, or this land is our land, or whatever it's called.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
It's a big time dude. Pete Seeger, look him up if you like old style. Well, it's kind of, he passed away in 2014.
Well, I like Peter, Paul, and Mary, I think. I'm trying to think if that's my favorite or not.
Bob Dylan, kind of folky, some of his early stuff.
Bob Dylan is definitely a folk singer. I mean, he's an artist and a writer for. He sold his soul to the devil, from what I hear.
Bob.
Yeah.
Well,
have you heard that before?
He didn't get a very good deal because he's got a hell of a nose. I don't know. I think he would have made a better deal. He should have read Art of the Deal.
He should have read Art of the Deal, Art of War, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, though, that's true.
Well, go back to this rumor. You just did what they did to destroy Morbid. So where'd you get?
Yeah, let's do that. Well,
Bob Dylan,
Bob Dylan has said on multiple occasions that he made a deal with the devil on public stuff. So that's
Bob Dylan did that?
Bob Dylan said that, yeah. He said that he had, and
really?
Yeah, and so we'll have to look that up there a little bit. And maybe I'm making more rumors. I don't know, but that's pretty true, I think. But he, whether he did or not, actually
never heard that.
Whether he actually made a deal with the devil, I don't know. But would he say he did? He did say that, yes.
I've never heard him that he said that.
Yep. Because
he might have been joking, or he might have been figurative.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He may be joking, maybe figuratively, but according to I watched a show on him or two a while back, and they said that he was a decent singer. He was just a decent player. His words weren't very great, at the time. And they came together he left for a summer, and came back, and something had happened in his life, and he totally changed. And they said that he said, "Well, I made a deal with the devil during the summer last."
Wow.
Yeah. And he was 100% better, and everybody just loved him. He just became an instant icon. So you never know how that happens. Well, I hope that's not completely true, because like somebody I enjoy right now, my current artist, there's a couple of them actually I'm learning to enjoy. The Weeknd I actually starting to enjoy, and the guy with the who am I thinking of? Post Malone. I'm enjoying Posty Malone. He's actually pretty talented.
He's good. I like him.
And Billie Eilish, which is amazing. She had a story, but she's at the age of 13. She became this viral sensation, and now I do believe she's 18. She just got like, I don't know how many Golden Globes or whatever for music she's gotten this year. She's got a lot of awards, and she's just 18, I think, maybe 19 now. But she was on Stephen Colbert had her the other day, and they were explaining that she has a new movie coming out here. She's the new Bond girl. That's how big she is. She has made this. She's on the Bond album. You know what I mean? And they're like, Billy, honestly, nobody else is allowed to watch it yet. Have you actually seen the new James Bond movie? And she's like, well, yes, of course I have. What she's like, what do you think about it? She says, it's the bomb. It's the friggin' bomb. It's the Bond movie. It's amazing, she says. And I bet you it is. I mean, unfortunately, I've had to suspend that movie for a year because of the pandemic. But
well, hey, tomorrow let's talk. We'll look it up and then talk a little more about the Bob Dylan thing. Because from what I just read, looks like he made a deal with God. So we'll.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow, maybe.
Well, maybe so. Maybe different gods. You never know. Yeah. But either way, we're past an hour now, so let's wrap this up and let's pound it out.
Yeah, I'm on a 5-game winning streak. Let's go.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Oh, tie. Okay. 1, 2, 3. You got it.
I got you. 5 in a row, but I be quick and you be slow. We got one. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for stopping in today. Make sure you stop, like, and appreciate, and like it and support by pressing that little subscription button. Have a good day.